Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Farm Sim 25 Builds. Today, we're going to build on Goldcrest Valley. Now, this one I'm aiming to build a little bit smaller than I normally do. I'm trying to keep this one a little more modest so that, if a single player wants to play this, they are more than welcome to. That's kind of been my goal lately, is build some smaller farms rather than those big, massive production farms. I feel like when I build those big farms, it gets overwhelming when you're playing alone. So here, we're just walking through, checking out the build here, guys. This will be posted as a save file that anyone can download at any time and play. If you're on PC, I do have a process. I will be posting a video within the next few days explaining that full process of how to play that. Completely free, guys. If you are on console, it is possible, but you do have to rent a dedicated server, unfortunately. Now, dedicated servers aren't that expensive. They are about $12 a month for you and 4 friends to play. I am partnered with GPortal if that is something that you guys are interested in. I do have a 10% off discount for you guys that you can use at any time. That discount is in my Linktree, guys, or linked on my YouTube profile here. Now, like I said, we're building a smaller farm here. This is nothing extreme, nothing big. I did want it up in the mountains, and I just kind of wanted some cattle and chickens on this one. There is room for bigger equipment if you do want to, buy a field and do some actual, farming. You can do that as well. Here's a quick overlook of what we built, guys. Let's get to it. Now, once again, this is Goldcrest Valley and we are building up in the hills. Love this area. Now, as always, we start out by leveling our ground. That is the most important thing. Always level your ground. Make sure that you're working with a flat area. If you don't, you're gonna regret it big time. Now, I couldn't quite decide what house to put here. We did end up going with the small barn dominium by Icus. Keep in mind, guys, if you are curious on any of the mods that I'm using or any of the buildings, anything, pause the video and that green text in the bottom left-hand corner is exactly the mod name. If there isn't any green text, it's just a base game thing that I'm using. Alright, now I am going around with the soften tool, just trying to kind of clean it up a little bit. We're not fully done yet with that area, but I do kind of have that area set now. I did kind of want to look through the different cattle barns that I had and different options that we could go with. It's always nice to know the footprint of the buildings and things like that before you start placing things. This was kind of an awkwardly shaped lot, so depending on the lot, shape, size, things like that, it could prove to be tricky depending on what buildings you're going with. Now, I kind of had an idea, so we're just going to start leveling some area out. This is going to change probably 3, 4, 5 times this video, guys, but it does at least, look good in the end. That's all that matters. Now right here, I'm just leveling a couple areas for, hypothetical buildings that I might place. And I know I want to place something here, so once again, guys, I just kind of start leveling a space so I know that, something's going to go there. This is where the tricky stuff comes, finding the buildings for your build, what style are you going for? I keep on trying to step outside the box and use different buildings, and you know what? I think we achieved that this time. Now, this building is from the Machine Hall package. This is a really cool package, guys. I actually just found this one today. Instantly fell in love with it. What a neat pack of buildings. Once again, guys, I build all of this on console too, so it is completely possible, any platform, to do anything that I do. It really is, guys, and I don't want you guys to think that it's not possible, because I started where you guys are. A lot of you guys probably have more time into this game than I do, if I'm being completely honest with you. We're going to use this big L-shaped one. It's got a big pass-through in the back, and then it also has a workshop with some nice little toolboxes and things like that. Now I did notice that I could actually change the siding and colors, so I decided that we want to change the color of it. For some reason I always use that red color as well. I don't know why. It just looks good. But I feel like that matches a lot better now, so we're going to go with that. I'm going to kind of hit some of this with the soften tool just to kind of, start shaping our ground and where we're going to be building at. Now I completely changed my mind and decided to level this all down to the same level. And this is right where we're going to put our cattle barn, so I am going to add a little puddle here for just the effect. Now whenever you place an animal pen, you have to lower the ground or raise the ground, do any ground editing before you place this fence. If you don't do it before you place the fence, you will not be able to edit that ground, and it will cause issues in the end. Just be sure that you edit the ground, make your ponds, do anything like that before you place your animal pens. Trust me guys, there's nothing more frustrating than getting everything perfect and exactly how you want it and then remembering that you wanted to put a pond in there. Terrible. So frustrating. So we're going to try and make this a little bit more pleasant to drive on. It is going to be a little goofy, but we do end up making it work very well in the end. Now right here is what I call stair stepping. I'm kind of stepping the ground so it's a little less aggressive of a slope when I soften it. I found that that just works really, really well when you're dealing with a lot of area or a big slope, big hill, I guess you could say. So we kind of stair stepped all that, and then we're going to soften it, and you can see here that it just makes it a lot less aggressive and just makes it kind of look like some hills. Now we are going to add some chickens. I was going to do this big long chicken coop, but I didn't really love how it looked, so we're just going to use this small little open one. We'll just put it on the back side of the cattle pen here. Now once again, I'm aiming to have all of this pretty small, which is kind of tricky for me. I always tend to lean towards the bigger buildings, bigger stuff. I don't know. I just always tend to do that. So on this one, I tried really, really hard to keep it as small as possible, and like I said, I think that I hit the nail on the head on this one. There are quite a few buildings, but once again, if you want to do any other farming or anything like that, you have those options instead of being, bound by a small property. There's at least plenty of room to grow into and do a lot of different things, truthfully. Once again, guys, a lot of groundwork on this one. That's kind of the unfortunate part. I tried my best to pick a pretty good lot, but sometimes you just end up with a lot of groundwork and there's not much that you can do about it. But as you can see, you can always manipulate that ground and make it work. Now I have found that the manure heap does have to sit kind of close to the end of this cattle barn. I love this cattle barn. It is amazing. It's got a feeding robot, works amazing. Absolutely obsessed with this one. But you do have to really place that manure heap close to that end of the cattle barn for it to register. So keep that in mind. It can be a little tricky and a little frustrating sometimes. So we're gonna throw a silo here. Not a big one, nothing special, just a baby little silo. Then we'll throw a little fuel cell. I always like to throw this, the wind water mill thing. I didn't get to read what it was called, that's my bad. Love using that one though, works really, really good for getting water for greenhouses, animals, anything like that. And it looks good. It actually moves, it rotates. It's just kind of a neat little thing. Now we are going to open up these doors because we like to put stuff inside. What a neat little building. I like to open up garage doors just in case we want to put, benches, toolboxes, anything like that. And we will put some forest ground down. I like to make this whole area kind of look disturbed, like the cattle are in and out of there frequently. Now if you do use meadow grass, unfortunately it will kind of grow back there, but you can just paint over it. And we'll throw our water in our pond, or puddle. And throw some water plants in there. Nice. And it's a constant back and forth, guys. Constantly back and forth, but that's okay. Alright, so we're gonna paint up our ground here, just so that we can kind of get our roads figured out, things like that, know kind of what we're doing, but I like to start with this painted base so it just all looks the same and looks good. And if you have the grass painted, it actually does work out really well when you go through with the gravel paint or ground paint, anything that you use. It actually kind of leaves the grass at the edges, and it just looks really nice, makes it easier in the end when you're doing your final touch-up. But we'll just quickly make some paths here and kind of start to lay out our ideal roads. Now with this, I don't like sharp corners. They drive me nuts, so I do kind of round all of these off and try and make it convenient to drive through. I like to envision driving through here with a semi and a trailer or a pickup and a gooseneck. Either way, whatever it is, am I gonna get caught on something? Am I gonna hit something and get upset? Is something gonna annoy me? You know what I mean? So I do like to envision that. It does help me personally. And we are going to bring this all the way back here because we still got stuff back here. Keep that in mind. And we'll just kind of fill it in. Boom, make an entrance to that. Clean it up a little bit. Looks good to me. I think we're going to add a little covered thing back here. Just an open shed. There is an old barn open shed that has some shelving in it that we do end up using. I love this one for some reason, especially if you're going for an older vibe. This just fits perfectly. Gotta match that red once again though. Boom. Looks good. Once again guys, if there's anything that you guys are curious on or any mods that I'm using, pause that video, bottom left hand corner. Even if I pull it out for just 1 second and you see it and you want to know what it is, just pause the video. Alright, we'll finish up this gravel over to here. Looks good, and kind of clean this up as well so it's not so obnoxious. Hit that with the soften tool, kind of hit all this again with soften. Every time you hit it with the soften, it's going to make it more and more pleasant to drive on. You don't want to have random bumps and terrible ridges that you're trying to drive over. That just doesn't look good. I kept toying with the idea of putting sheep down, but I've kind of been going away from placing sheep barns and things like that, trying to do less and less. The pallets kind of get annoying, so we aren't going to do sheep on this one. If you guys like the sheep and things like that, I can start putting them again, but pallets do sometimes get annoying, especially when you are playing solo. It just gets to be a hassle, and if you don't keep up with it, it can get really annoying really, really fast. I always forget to put lights down, so I've been trying to get better at that. So we are going to throw lights down. I just usually use this Street Light 3. I feel like it has a great farm vibe. It's not obnoxiously bright, and it doesn't look unnatural. Now let's do my favorite part, decorations. You know how it is, guys. Just go through, take your time. I highly, highly, highly recommend downloading every single decoration pack. No matter what, download every single one. You'll use them at some point. We will kind of fill in that shop vibe a little bit. And let's put a car back here. Once again, we're kind of up on a cliff. This is kind of a really nice property, but I'm kind of giving it that old lived-in vibe. So we're gonna put some junk all around, clutter it all up, and try and make it look like someone's lived here for many, many moons. The house is newer, but that's okay. Maybe it was remodeled. The house was remodeled, and all the rest of this has been here for a long time. Yeah, I like that story. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Didn't fully love that right there, and I felt like it was kind of glitching through, so we did go with this one instead. Once again, clutter it up, throw some things down, make it look like someone lives here. Not everything is perfect all the time, guys. I do try to get things to look as nice as possible, but nothing is perfect ever. And once again, just keep going through. Cycle through those decorations. You might see something randomly that you've never seen before and fall in love with it right away. I was gonna put this vacuum down, but then I noticed the vacuum right there. Throw a little jack back there though. Let's throw a little garden hose reel up here. Maybe they're doing some yard work. I was gonna put a grill by the fuel cell, but that's probably not smart, so we'll put it on this side. Throw a lawnmower back here. Like I said, just take your time. There's so many different things that you can just start placing that make sense and fit and actually look incredible on your farm. Throw a little trampoline down. We've already got a pool, might as well, right? I was gonna do a covered little seating area, but I think we've got enough for that stuff. Otherwise, like I said, just decorate, clutter, things, stuff. Imagine if your grandparents lived here, you know what I mean? Your family owned this farm for 60 generations. What would it look like? How would that look to you? That's what I try and go for. Or that's what we're going for on this one at least. Maybe they're out there doing the laundry earlier too. I'd love that. And we just keep cycling through. Let's throw a lift in here as well. We're gonna throw the wide one, then you can fit a semi on it. We're also gonna change the color to red. Don't forget, guys, so many of these decorations you can customize and change and get completely different items out of them. So always pay attention to what you're placing, if you can customize it, and what you can actually do with it. Because like I said, there's so many different things that have hidden customization. Throw a little greenhouse down back here. I should have flattened that ground, but greenhouses usually react pretty well. And we're only gonna have to worry about that one side, so I'm not too worried about the back end. We're just gonna paint the gravel around the areas that you'll actually be, which would be right here. We're gonna leave the dirt in that little covered area too. Kind of like that. Once again, we just kind of clean up these edges, make sure that they don't look too aggressive. That's 100% why we do the grass before we paint. Decided to do a couple little tire tracks back here. Now to do this, all I'm doing is tapping A. Just tap it. I'm getting really tired of using gates. I feel like every time I use a gate, I hit it and get caught on it. So I've quit using gates and we're just using open fences now. We're not going to go all the way around the property or anything like that. We're just going to line the outside of the road and just the base edge of our property. This really does show you, though, how much room we actually have in this lot. I mean, it kind of did look like a smaller lot when we started. We did use some bigger buildings, so it isn't massive. But this is kind of a lot of space back here that you can technically do whatever with. Loving how it's turning out, though. Absolutely loving how it's turning out. Once again, just looking for random junk and clutter that we can throw around and just fill some of these spaces with. Even if you don't know if you'll ever see it, it's just kind of cool to sometimes throw some clutter back behind the building and things like that. Once again, it's so much trial and error. You just have to take some stuff out, see if it works, see if you like it, and send it sometimes. Now we are going to cycle through these decorations one last quick time, just to see if maybe there's anything else. And you know what, a swing overlooking that cliff, beautiful. Just don't jump off the swing, that'd be bad. Throw a little cafe glue right here. Maybe we had one. It's just chilling, I don't know. More clutter. Throw some barrels out here by this open shed. And a little bucket, why not? Now, there's not too many more decorations that we're gonna find, but it's about this point that I realized that if you did want to actually do some farming, it might get a little tight to try and park a combine or harvester, or anything like that in that other shed. So we're gonna level a big area out here since we have this entire space, and we're gonna add a pole barn. Nothing extreme. I mean, I did pick kind of a larger sized one, but you know what, that's okay. This one's way too big, we can't use that one. I do like using that pole barn though, it's a beautiful pole barn, but that one's just too big for this area. I feel like if I do something like that, it's gonna get way too extreme, way too fast. You know, like I said, I'm trying to keep this smaller so that one person can manage it is totally my goal. And then we come up to the old barn. Love it. I feel like this fits the vibe absolutely perfectly. And it's got good enough storage. I mean, you're not gonna fit a ton of stuff in there, but it's good enough. The doors are pretty wide. But beautiful, beautiful. And really all that's left, guys, is our grass and trees. Like I said in the beginning of the video, guys, if you want this save or any other saves that I've, built and recorded and posted, you're more than welcome to download it. I don't charge for these save, guys. They don't cost you a single penny. Unless you're on console, then you do technically have to rent a dedicated server. Once again, I wish that it wasn't like that, but that's beyond my control, unfortunately. If you guys need help with setting up a dedicated server or anything like that, I do have videos. If you're still struggling, join my Discord, guys, and I would be more than happy to help out and explain it, talk you through it, and get you set up. Truly, it does elevate your game to a whole nother level. Having a server that stays open 24/7, your game stays living, your crops stay growing, your animals stay living. Your friends can join in and play whenever. It could be 2 a.m. and your friends could just randomly wake up and hop in and take care of your animals for you. It's really neat, guys, and definitely if you haven't, ever rented a server, it sounds scary and like a lot of work, but it really isn't that bad once you get through the initial setup. And like I said, guys, I do have 10% off for any GPortal server. I do kind of like to just throw a whole bunch of little bushes and plants all around just to really make it feel lively. I like using these ones because they are yellow. I love the color yellow. So we throw a whole bunch of these ones all around. I don't throw too many. If you throw too many, it can look extreme. But if you throw a few little pops of color here and there, it truly can, liven up your build, and it looks really good. I love those little pops of color randomly here and there. Looks like ketchup and mustard. Love that. Love to see it. Alright, let's get our trees, guys. If you haven't already, don't forget, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know. What else should we build? Should we keep doing small farms like this? Should we do bigger farms? What do you guys want to see? Different animals? Different pens? I've been trying to keep it on the smaller side and, imagine one person running the farm, but do you want 2 or 3 people farms? Kind of what are we thinking, guys? Drop a comment, let me know. And once again, don't forget to join that Discord. I do have a dedicated server that is open for my Discord community at any time of the day. Anyone can hop in, play it, and do whatever they want. There is no building in there, guys. You're free to play it. There is no building, no buying vehicles. The slot count on console just can't handle that, unfortunately. I wish it was different. Once again, my hands are tied on that. But it is free to play. I don't charge you, once again, anything to play in my dedicated server. And we've got a great community of people that are in there constantly, guys. It is a lot of fun, and if you have a chance, definitely go check it out. Otherwise, guys, until next time, I truly appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful night, guys.